All right, you guys, welcome back to Isyour6 Covered. Appreciate you showing up. Today I'm with Tom. So Tom, you can see is side by side in the back. We're in Texas. What part of Texas are we in?
We're in Freestone, Texas.
That's right, Freestone, Texas, at some really cool place. So we just got done. We finished up a match. We're in the same squad together, and thank God for Tom. There's a lot of walking at this match, and you know they'd pick people up and bring them to the next stages and stuff. But this is your third NRL hunter.
Third NRL hunter.
And
first two I shot skills.
Okay, and so this was your first match of like
running my own.
Yeah, figuring everything out. So I thought it'd be kind of cool for you guys to see, because you see me shoot a ton of NRL hunter matches, but you get the perspective of someone that kind of had to figure it all out by themselves. You know, he has done 2 skills matches, but there's a big jump between going from skills, wouldn't you say, to
absolutely
having to figure everything out by yourself. So, you know, before, if you're shooting skills, someone could say, oh, you know, you're shooting on the right edge, you know, come over left a little bit. Or
well, even the time management part of skills, because you can pre-stage it and kind of get a sense. You can even pre-range, figure out everything that's going on. Okay. So all the things that would normally take up time,
yeah,
that's taken out of the equation. So then it's really about the fundamentals of, you know, how you're getting on target and pulling that trigger.
So this video is going to be about us talking. He's going to watch one of the stages. I never had a chance to record myself. I figured this would be kind of cool. You're going to see what he had to deal with and the kind of, you know, his goods, his bads, whatever. And that's what I've always done for you guys, to show you if I do good or bad. I don't really care either way. It's when you come out here, things happen, and you either did good or you didn't. So he's going to watch this video real quick. We'll go through it, and some of the things that I noticed just watching him, because I would shoot and then I'd record him, so I had a chance to sit there right next to him, is it took him a long time to get kind of just the normal stuff done, where you get the rifle down, you get your tripod out, and it just seemed to take a while. So that's kind of stuff you can practice at home, getting used to, like undoing. We just talked about this a little bit ago, like depending on your tripod, being able to loosen all 3 up at the same time. And I showed you guys on other videos, and then kind of as you're coming up to spin it again, you can tighten those 3 leg sections. So there's little ways to save time, which in turn makes it so you don't have to rush later or as much rushing.
Very true. Now
he had a timer like most of us do, and in mine actually would stop talking, so I had to use his at the end of the day. But having the ability to know how much time you have available helps. It can hurt you, because it'll start saying 10, 9, 8, and then you're like rushing. But to know you have like 3 minutes left is huge, right? So it's like, so I'm going to show some stages and stuff. But what do you think are some of the biggest takeaways of this match?
For me, it was really about time management.
Learning where you can save time.
Save time, you know, how I was deploying my gear, how I was getting it set up to be able to just get it and go and start getting on target. I was wasting a lot of time trying to get my tripod set up, trying to figure out what shooting position. I mean, there was one stage where I just walked up and overthought it, and the stage itself, I don't remember which stage it was.
Was that today?
That was today.
Okay.
Where we were up in, actually, I think a timing tower here at the racetrack.
Oh yeah, that was really cool. We got to shoot
on
a racetrack, motocross racetrack, shooting out. That was really cool.
Yeah, and for some reason I didn't think I could use the handrail on it, yeah, as a prop, and here I am screwing around trying to get a tripod out and fumble around trying to get balanced, and didn't hit anything.
Yeah, and I'll pause this, and you guys are going to be seeing this while we're talking, and we'll be in the little corner. And now he's going to have stages where he had troubles, and that's understandable, and that's what's going to happen to you guys when you show up to the first match. The biggest takeaway from a lot of this is going to be just show up. Like, whether you sign up for skills, kind of like Tom did, and learn the process and to the ability if you can as a skill shooter, and then, you know, at some point jumping into the competition. But the fact that you have to do everything. So if you're a hunter, this is a good way to make sure your gear works, you know, before the season. Being able to find those targets. This was a great match if you get a chance. So this was the first match here in Texas, Freestone,
Mm-hmm.
Firestone, Freestone. So the targets were not difficult to find. Did you find every target?
Yeah, found every target.
Okay, and
they were just little.
Yeah, and a lot of times you will go to a match and never find targets, period. Like, these ones were painted, so it made it a lot easier to find. The targets basically depending on what state, yeah, the placard was easy to find. And this is from someone that's shot, you know, tons of different ones. And it makes it very discouraging if it's your first match and you can't even find the placard, and that happens a lot.
Yeah.
Even a guy that shot a ton of matches, sometimes you can't even find the placard. So, you know, that makes it good where you know you found a couple targets. Now, I will say at this match, I had difficulties on day one ranging the correct distance. Did you have the same?
I did have the same
Yeah,
issue.
and a lot of people that I talked to had the same. There was some vines that would kind of, you know, your laser might hit and it'd be off about 40 yards, thinking it was, you know, X distance, but it was really something else. And you know, I shot above it. I shot past the targets just to confirm. I did a lot of stuff that I normally don't have to do as much here for some reason, and still had some difficulty. So, you know, I've shot a ton of these. You guys have seen a lot of them. There's always going to be difficulty. So that's kind of we're giving you the perspective of a guy that's just started, you know, a couple matches ago and being on his own this match, and then a guy that's shot a shit ton of these and it's still tough as nails. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. You're going to see some of the stages of Tom, and I appreciate you letting us do this.
Absolutely. My pleasure.
But if you're not learning anything from this, you should be going, okay, well, use your timer on your phone as you're watching this, if you're not watching it on your phone, and just see how long it takes him to get to where he's finally shooting. Go, okay, that was 1 minute and 10 seconds. You know, you really want to shave that easy stuff down. Get it, move knowing like, hey, I got to shoot a stage. I want to save as much time as I can. Not sprint, but move with the what's the word I'm trying to go for?
Purpose, determination.
Move with purpose. So get your shit all done. Get your backpack off. You're gonna see Tom, and he wears his backpack a lot. And at the end, I kind of let him just shoot because I didn't want to bug him or try to change the way a person shoots. And then he was kind of up for like, hey, give me some pointers. And then we talked a little bit. But yeah, you don't really want to shoot with your backpack, especially on windy days. It's just more mass that the wind can push you off target. There's a lot of little things. Always shoot as low as you can before you go up high, because your hit percentage is definitely going to be best at prone, and then as you go up, it's going to get a little worse, or your wobble zone anyways. Other than that, it was a pleasure to meet you.
You too, man.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it, and I hope
you
these guys enjoyed the video. And if you like videos like this and you want to start shooting NRL Hunter, I got a whole playlist of just NRL Hunter stuff. So you guys have a great day.
And get out here and have some fun.
Yeah, have some fun.
And learn some stuff.
Hell yeah. See ya. All right, so why am I doing this video? I'm doing this video to help new shooters. This is kind of the whole concept of the channel, is to help promote the sports of shooting. And we've been doing a lot of NRL Hunter stuff lately. So, kind of give you an idea. So he's walking up lackadaisical, kind of with no purpose, or just maybe he needs to get a little bit quicker. But we're gonna dissect everything, and hopefully this helps you guys out. So there's basically two targets. This one's far to near. Most of the time it's near to far, so they try to trick you every once in a while. So make sure you read the placard ahead of time to make sure that it might be a left to right, which normally it's a left to right, but sometimes they might have a right to left in there just to kind of throw you guys off. So even if you hit the target, you're not going to get a point because it was the wrong target. So you got to kind of pay attention. There's a little bit of mental game in there as well. You're going to see the two red marks on the tree. Those are the two positions that he needs to shoot from. Basically, it's just some orange paint. So he's ranging the targets. And I will say that this one was a little tough. You had to really kind of range a few times to make sure that you were getting the right distance. So he's writing his dope on his arm board. I will say, if you're going to use an arm board and you're going to write stuff on it, try to make it where the writing portion is on the flap when it's actually tucked into the Velcro, so you don't have to keep flipping it back and forth when you're checking your targets. That might save you a little bit of time as well. He does a good job of putting his bag into position 1, and he's got his tripod set up. I try to always put my tripod in the high position for spotting. That way I can always use it as a rear support. I'll use a rear support as much as possible just to get a better, cleaner break with less wobble zone in my scope when the ground will let me. But we'll continue on. This is day 2, And the wind wasn't as bad as day one. Day one had some wind to it. Not horrible. I've seen a lot worse, but it was enough to trick you a little bit, maybe hold too much what you thought, you know, your ballistics were telling you, and then due to the trees it may have blocked it. And there was some times where you were all, oh, this little window here of blocked trees, but 40 yards down the way it's all cleared off that you can't see, and there's actually heavy winds going through there that really pushes your bullet left to right or right to left depending on which way the wind's blowing. So you gotta, you know, trying to find grass and different stuff to see what the wind's doing, whether it's some type of there we go, got a shot. He's moving his stuff over. He doesn't grab his tripod, which if you're not going to use your tripod for rear support, you really should have he should have his right knee up so that he can rest his elbow on there, get a little more support while he's shooting. It's a little more comfortable. Some people, and it's all kind of on body structure as well, how big or tall or short or fat you are. They can change that, but for the most part, most shooters would have had their right foot up. They would have had their right elbow on their knee, and they would have had a little more support, which would have helped. Things that new shooters will do too is they use too much magnification, so when they go to get back on the target, they have a difficulty finding that target as well.
There you go. Nice
So
work.
he shoots there. I think it was a rabbit.
Yeah.
Now we're on to the next one.
Yeah, right at
We
the
got one target, 4 positions.
So
Once you cross the timer.
There's basically the starting line. As soon as you cross that, the RO will start your time. So this one, there was 4 orange flags. Basically, you're going to start from the first one and then move to the 4th one. So you got one target out there, 4 positions. I ended up doing a triple pull
Focus.
with a rear tripod support,
the mental game.
and it went really smooth
Mental
and
game.
fast.
Thanks for ROing.
Yes, sir.
I'll make you famous.
Hey, I wouldn't have a job if it wasn't for y'all.
I don't know. I love the sport.
Now what he's gonna do on this stage is he's gonna have his tripod pretty high, like we talked about, where you can use your right knee if you're a right-handed shooter to help support the rear of your rifle with your elbow. If you kind of know that you're gonna do that, or you should do that, you want to bring that all the way down to where when your rifle is sitting on top of your bag or clamped in, you're going to have the ability to touch with your knee and your elbow. So right here he sets this up kind of in a high kneeling position, which is fine, and he does good on this stage per se, but he would have shot a little bit better, I believe. He probably would have dropped a couple less points if he would have brought that right knee up and then actually used his elbow. So from here, even if he had his knee, the tripod was probably set up a little bit too high for him to do that. And then again, for those of you that have shot a lot of NRL hunter matches, this was a very easy match to find the targets. They were well painted, well placarded, very easy to find. But the reason for this, and I had talked to Travis Ashita, who basically started the NRL hunter, is this match being the first one in this area of Texas. The local surrounding locals that might want to shoot the match that may have never tried it before, it gives them an opportunity to understand the whole idea of looking for the placard, knowing that the first target's going to be somewhere near that placard, and just kind of the distances weren't crazy. I think the farthest one was out to 600 yards, so it was a very kind of close range, very easy to find target kind of acquisition. So it was good for definitely a new shooter, which is good. Nothing worse than going to a match and every stage is super tough. You can't find the target, so you don't even get to shoot. That can make it pretty depressing for especially a new
20 seconds.
shooter.
You got this.
What?
You got it. Go. 20
And
seconds.
that's another reason why, if you're just getting into this style of shooting, maybe you've never shot any
7,
other style of rifle
5.
competitions, it would be a good idea to go ahead and sign up for skills division. Have the ability for people to help you
I wish I would have shot this way
on the
yesterday.
clock. They can help you with basically wind calls. They can point you in the right direction. They can say, no, you need to go look a little more left. There's a target right there, and then you can be okay. So,
We got a pig and then an armadillo.
all right, we're on to the next stage.
So here's
Kind of
basically
going
your
over
window.
this. This is basically the window.
Left
You
and
got your
right
left and right
limiters.
limiters.
Here's where you
Back
put
here's
your
where you're going to
tripod.
set up your tripod, so
Find
that when
your
you look
targets.
through that V or those left and rights,
Right there you see a
you're going to be
placard.
able to find the targets for
And
that
just to the right of it is a
stage.
target.
So right there you see a placard. There is a
Over by the
target
railroad
to the
tracks
right of
over
that,
there,
and
you
then
see a
down
white
over by the
target.
railroad tracks
These targets are pretty easy.
is
They're in the
another
two
target as
positions.
well.
Easy to find, I should say.
This position,
this
here,
position here.
so basically you're going to engage the first
In that
and second
position, so
target,
you'll go.
and then
you'll
move
engage
to
the
the
first
next
target,
position
then the
and
second
engage
target.
the first and
Hit
second
it.
target. So how it works, if you don't know, is if you hit the target on your first round, you get 2 points, but you do get one additional try at each target if you do miss the first time. After you shoot your second shot at that single target, it's basically a dead target and you have to move on to the next one. So now he's setting up his tripod. In this one, knowing that you're going to shoot prone, you may just leave your tripod in the collapsed position and kneel and find the targets, because you don't have heavy brush in the way. You can pretty much see the visibility is pretty good. Especially you want to just kind of, if you are using your tripod, while you're opening it up, you really shouldn't be looking at your actual tripod. You should be looking out into the field. You should know how to open your tripod without looking at it. So that'll kind of give you an idea where that first placard is and give you an idea of what you got. So this was a near to far target. So when they say that, that means that the next target can be actually left of the target. So you got to be kind of careful, because most of the day you're shooting left to right. So again, I'm gonna say when you're doing these things, you really want to read the little placard at the staging area before you get up here. Have it all written down, near to far, or N-F is what I usually put, so I know it's near to far, or L to R, left to right, or the funky times when they do change it up and it's right to left, or far to near. Those don't happen as much, so those kind of catch some shooters off guard. You will see that his bipod is a little loose, basically for the cant than I would like. You can tell it's kind of sloppy, a little too loose for the liking of at least me. So he's going to engage this target. And another thing too is that the placard number is going to be, and especially if you go to some of these matches where you'll see other stages within the mountainside, you really want to make sure that you write down the placard, because you might see 3 or 4 placards out in the same field of view. So you want to know what you're looking for placard wise, whether it's a letter, a number, and then you also want to know what animals you're looking for. If you have like a field of view where you're seeing lots of different targets, you want to know that you're supposed to be shooting at a raccoon and a prairie dog, or whatever the case is. You want to kind of jot that down on your arm board. Next position. I'm gonna do a video on this match. I don't have any match footage of me actually shooting it. I did pretty well. I ended up in 3rd place in factory with the 107, which wasn't a great score. Really had a tough time on day 1, but on day 2 I cleaned all the stages but 1. I dropped 1 point for the day, so that was actually really good shooting for me. So it was a good day. It helped me kind of come back into the the higher scores of the factory division. But at the end of the day, I still missed quite a few points over the overall shooters shooting in heavy in open light. But I'll take a 3rd place.
You see it? Hold more wind. That's too done.
If you're new to the channel and you enjoy this type of shooting, definitely think about subscribing. Got lots of new stuff
Hey,
coming up.
shoot.
And
Oh, really?
hopefully beneficial
Nice.
stuff, especially for the new NRL hunter shooters or the new precision rifle shooters. This was really cool. I have never shot from a motocross track before. So we're on top of a finish jump, I think. And it was just cool to shoot from a motocross track. I haven't done that before, so that was kind of cool. So now I can check that off.
So
the list.
that's pretty cool, I think.
You can see a little bit of wind in the wind flags. Wasn't horrible on this day. This is still day 2. But much calmer than day 1. Kind of a view there. You can kind of see the berm in the back there with some doubles.
Definitely possible.
Go around, and there's some whoops over there. So it's kind of neat. We shot 3 stages. It was broken up into 4 zones. 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is section 4. This is how we finished off the day of day 2. So it's pretty neat. They did an excellent job. And I'll get into all the cool stuff about ROs, match directors, trophies. I kind of break all that stuff down. Trophies, food, and prize table, and all sorts of stuff. So look forward to this Texas Freestone match coming up after this video sometime. So this was a 1 position, which basically will mean that we're looking for 4 targets. So there's the first placard, and the target's right above it and to the left of the first one on the left. It's a small prairie dog. And then what we'll do is we'll head over to the right a little bit. So this is a left to right, 1 position, 4 targets. On the small prairie dog, I don't remember what it was. It might have been 0.2 or 0.3 mils wide. Basically, just needed to hold right edge at the time. I shot right before it, so that's what I ended up holding. It was close enough that it wasn't. It would push you off plate if you stayed on the plate. There's 2 targets that are together here at the same distance. I don't remember what the animals were, but they're right on the railroad tracks. The distances for this match, like I said before, were not horrible. They're fairly close compared to some matches out west where they got a lot of room to stretch out. Not that they don't in Texas. And like we talked about being kind of a new shooter match, they kept it in a little bit better. And then here's the last target over here. Missed just off right. Follows it up with an impact. Good way to end that match.
Nicely done, Tom.
Alright. So we're still on the motocross track. Now, the one thing he didn't understand is that whole thing right there where it has the sign and that board. So basically the left and right, those that flagging is basically just telling you that you need to be able arm's reach of both of those pieces of flagging. So that's the two positions. We're going to be looking for 2 targets on this one. You can see that the wind's still going. There's a target there. That's the second target. He's getting his tripod set up, but he doesn't know that he can actually use that. So when I went up there, I basically threw my bag on the rail and then used my tripod after spotting as a rear support on the left position. And then on the right position, I went all the way to the right and actually used the rail that's coming back towards the RO as my elbow rest, or rest for the rear of my rifle. So I was pretty solid. I actually cleaned that stage as well, and it went smooth. But for a new shooter that doesn't know that you can actually touch the rail, he thought he had to shoot off of a tripod. Now, an NRL hunter, wherever the mark is, you need to be within arm's reach of it, unless they say your rifle needs to be off of a certain object. You know, the weight of the rifle must be supported by X, Y, and Z for the position. You could sit down prone if you wanted to, as long as you could reach it. Not so much on this one, but you could lay down prone, just be able to reach it, and you're still good. So he's kind of setting up his tripod in a high position, which as you work your way up higher, you get less support. So he's going to be basically, he's got his rifle on his bag, and this is a tricky shot for anybody, you know, and the more you practice, it gets a little bit easier. But if you can go lower and have a rear support, it's definitely going to help. Gets you a few more points for the match for sure. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you actually see me out and about and want to do this, and where we kind of break it down, do a little interview beforehand or after, hit me up. I might be able to do that. I think it's beneficial. Leave in the comment section whether this style of learning from people actually out there doing it, and not being the pros kind of guy where they're hitting the target every time. Kind of, one, gives you the idea that, yeah, I can go out there and do that and miss targets and be okay, instead of thinking that you have to be, you go out there and you have to hit every target. It's a growing pains. You're gonna find stuff that you did good on, you did bad on, but at the end of the day, you basically take whatever score you got, and then you sign up for the next match, and you hope that your hit percentage goes up from there. You're basically competing against yourself.